Lisa here and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my weekly deck reviews. So this is a video I like to make each and every week where I share with you the decks that I've been working with over the past week, tell you a bit about how they read for me, how they worked out for me, and then talk about what I'm going to be working with next week. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. So this week I have been working with the absolutely stunning Light Seers Tarot. So if you have not seen this yet, I will link up in the cards my unboxing and first flip through of this deck. It is such a beauty. So I'll talk about the obvious stuff first. The cardstock is gorgeous. This edging is stunning. The images are borderless. This deck does rifle shuffle really, really well, but it is a little bit on the stiff side. Like, I can still bridge it and stuff, it's totally fine, but it's a little bit stiff and it is matte. So this has been a dream aesthetically for me to work with this week. It's felt really high quality, really, really nice, and the artwork is absolutely stunning. So I'll flip through a few of the images for you. Every single card just has so much to say. It is so evocative. It has been an absolute dream to work with this deck. This is the Keeper of the Sacred, by the way. I think in my flip through I called it the Keeper of the Soul. It's just a gorgeous deck to work with. The images are absolutely gorgeous. Everything has so much meaning. I think I've totally interrupted myself, but it's been great. I had a total stalker card this week. The King of Pentacles stalked me, so he'll probably come up here too, but daily draws were fantastic. Working with this in larger spreads was great. I did, I like to do Benebell Wins See the Tarot series, and if I think about it, I will link the playlist for that up in the cards. But I did the Compass spread with this deck and had a really lovely reading that way. Yeah, this deck, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Again, if you want to see all the cards, check out the full flip through. This is definitely going to be what has quickly become one of my favorite decks ever. It's just wonderful. I have no complaints about the deck itself at all. It's just been a dream. Just sorry for the traffic noises, by the way. Sorry. It's still really warm. It'll be quieter in the wintertime, except for the fish tank, which I'm sure you've noticed by now. But anyway, yeah, I just love this artwork. Love it, love it, love it. Perfect. It's a nice size too. It's really easy to handle. I keep mine in a Peggy bag hanging on my racks that you see behind me. The guidebook for this deck is also really amazing. Now, I did see a recent update from Chrisanne Donnelly. This is what the guidebook looks like. She will have, I believe, some extra copies available for purchase. If you are interested in that, you will want to get on her newsletter because I have a feeling they're going to get snapped up very, very quickly. But this is what the guidebook looks like. There's an exercise in the beginning where you consciously go through the deck and choose your light, start by choosing your light and shadow cards. So I did do this and it was really interesting. I believe I posted the results of that on my Instagram. But the guidebook is just full of great information. You have keywords, you have an experience, which is kind of a narrative of what's happening in the card, which I really appreciate. And then there's a bit of a message, which is more of a sort of intuitive, divinatory type meaning. And there's these little snippets. So like in the star, the snippet, I'm calling them snippets. Sometimes they're in different fonts. So like here, it's right here in this bigger font. Sometimes they're handwritten, but this one says, draw energy from your brightest inner light because you know exactly what you came here to do. But in other cards, it might be handwritten, like you see down here. And so this one is for the Eight of Cups. I walk away from negativity and choose myself in a rebellious act of self-love. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's so good, you guys. It is so good. The writing is wonderful. I did find out after my flip through that the little sticker that came with my deck, which has keywords for the King of Cups, was to correct the keywords that were in the book. But when I looked at I thought maybe they were just the wrong keywords in the book, but it just looks like maybe she refined them. So I've just tucked it in because I like the keywords that are printed as well. So there's just some subtle differences there that I like them both, so I didn't want to cover up one with the other. Call me crazy. But yeah, that was what that was about. The art, again, the art is beautiful. The guidebook is really, really well done. I think Chrisanne knocked this out of the park. And if you get a chance to snap this version up, do it. If not, she did mention that the Hay House edition, which will be different, I believe it's going to be a pocket deck, so it probably will be a smaller profile, will be coming out, I think, at the end of this year or early next year. So keep your eyes peeled for that if you missed out on this, or if it's not the right time for you to get this. Definitely keep an eye out, because this is such a stunner, and I'm so pleased with it. The Oracle deck of sorts that I worked with this week is a deck for wonder walking. This is by Amy T1. This is what the box looks like, and it's the kind that opens up like this way, and the box is just, oh, it's so pretty. I will say this has been kind of an interesting deck to work with. I didn't find myself reaching for this deck. Let's see if I can hold up some cards here. I didn't find myself reaching for this deck for divination. I was pulling the cards and just trying to be more mindful of noticing that particular part of the world for the day. So I was using it more as a mindfulness exercise than as an oracle deck. I did feel like I enjoyed looking at the cards more than working with them. I don't know if that makes any sense. I think they're beautiful, and I do see myself using this in some creative ways, but it just didn't read for me like I expected it to read as an oracle deck, if that makes any sense. One thing that I noticed right away is that I thought this would be an incredible deck to use for writing, or well, what I thought of was photography prompts, or artistic prompts, painting prompts. If you're into being creative, I could see this being really wonderful. Like the word listen could be a mindful, like again, I use this more like mindfulness exercises. So whatever word I got, I would try to just focus more on that for the day. So for example, today my card was, or yesterday rather, my card was fauna. And so I tried to just pay more attention to the fauna around me, to the animals, to the life around me. And on a different day, I had portals, and I just tried to notice where portals were in my day-to-day world, whether it was indoors or outdoors. But I really found that a lot of these cards, like shape, would make such wonderful artistic creative prompts, and I think that may be how I use this going forward. I do think that the purpose of this deck, a deck for wonder walking, is to use it on your walks, to really notice what's happening around you. This Thumbelina one is great. I feel like what I'm going to want to reach for this for is for ideas of things to draw, create, take pictures of. That just is what occurred to me this week playing around with this deck. So I think I'm going to be keeping this deck with my sort of painting supplies and my camera stuff so that I can use it that way. And I will definitely report back about how that is. But I will say that for just straight up oracle use, the artwork is really, really beautiful, but it fell a little flat for me using it in a divinatory way. I felt like I wanted to use it more like the creator intended. So that is my feedback on working with this for a week. I feel like I'm gonna wanna reach for this for other things, for meditation, for, again, path working, which I will be talking more about soon. That was a request that came through on my last video. But I just feel like it would be good for that sort of thing. Even maybe for doing some intentional dream work. Those keywords are like the kind of things that make you think about what to pay more attention to. At least that's how I experienced it. So that is my thoughts on that. I will definitely keep you posted if I pull it out for that sort of purpose and let you guys know how it works. But yeah, this week the Light Seer sort of stole the show, which I suppose I kind of knew was going to happen. The reading cloth I ended up working with this week was this beautiful purple and gray butterflies with the black and silver swirls on the back. I will say that sometimes this background worked great behind the Light Seers tarot, and sometimes it just, I feel like it washed it out. So I often kind of flipped back and forth, which is why I love that Peggy's cloths are reversible, because I can do that. But yeah, I had fun with that. Okay, so here is what I'm going to be working with next week, and I'm pretty excited. The Herbcrafter's Tarot. I have to say that I have been getting more and more interested in diving into my herbal studies lately. I have quite a collection in my sort of witchy apothecary, if you could call it that, where I have a lot of dried herbs that I've collected either from other workings that I've done, from local shops, and from my Witch's Moon subscriptions, and I just want to do more work with sort of plant energies. And so I'm hoping to use this in a really mindful way this week, and my goal with this deck, let me just pull out some artwork. Some cards and show you some cards and the book and stuff. So it comes with a guidebook that's this size, and on first glance it almost feels a little bit oracle-y with the way that the guidebook is written, but I'll let you know more at the end of the week based on how it was to work with. The cards themselves have this really, really nice sort of colored pencils, not sort of, they are colored pencil style artwork. This feels like a slow deck, and I don't know if you know what I mean by that, but it feels like the kind of deck where I'm going to pull a card for the day and really, really sit with that energy and think about it. And so my goal this week is going to be to pull a card of the day, and then that day do some lookups about that particular plant and use it as sort of a study guide for the week to dive a little bit more into that plant's energies and how that might show up for me during the day. And I may, if I am inspired to do it throughout the week, and also depending on timing and things, I may pull some of those plant energies into some workings if I have those plants available to me. And we'll see how it unfolds. Or like if I have a tea with that plant, or if I have food with that plant. Like there's things in here like garlic, right? And mint. So we shall see how this one goes. The backings, this is a US Games deck. The backings are really botanical as well. I love those. And US Games, you guys, so you know the cardstock is really, really nice. I'm going to be carting this around actually in a travel bag because I want to have it with the guidebook. And what I've decided to do as far as what I'm going to work with beside it is, look at this cute little bag, by the way. I'm going to be working with my rune set beside this deck this week. So I want to work with just the plant energies as far as pulling cards, but I feel like I'm going to also, my plan is to also pull a rune each day and read a little bit about that rune. So this week is going to be a little more of a study week, and so I'll be working with one plant and one rune each day. And to help me with that, so I've got the guidebook and I've got the Herbcrafter's tarot and guidebook that's going to be living in my travel bag here. Like so. My little bag of runes is going to live in there. And I also have this set of rune learning cards that I got from Northwest Tarot Symposium. And these are kind of like big flashcards. So they have the rune on the front, and then on the back they have all of this great information, as well as, so they've got the meaning, the keywords, what it's good for magical workings, a key phrase, how to pronounce it, and its theme, all of that stuff on the back of every single rune. And I feel like some of these actually had, yeah, some of these have some reversed meanings, but not all of them. And I'm not sure why that is, but some of them have reversals, like upside down text underneath. Oh, I know why, because some of these runes are symmetrical. Anybody who works with runes is probably like, duh, Lisa. Some of them are symmetrical, like this one, and this one, and this one. And then some of them are asymmetrical. So this one would have an upright and a reverse, depending on how you draw it. So the ones that are not symmetrical have a reversed meaning. I think that's really cool. Sorry, I kind of figuring this out on camera. You get to see my little light bulb moment. So I have a few resources I'm going to be leaning into this week. This is one of them for the runes. For the plant energies, I have the Master Book of Herbalism. I didn't bring it to show you, I'm sorry. But I have a Master Book of Herbalism. I have Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia of Magical Herbs. And I also have the Herbiary, the Illustrated Herbiary, although I don't know how much help that particular book will be. And I also have another herb deck, an herbal oracle deck, and I may use any of those resources to read about the herbs. For the runes, I'm going to be using those little flashcards I just showed you, the rune learning cards. And if you want information on how to get those, let me know, and I will put a link for it down below, and I'll try to remember to show you the box for that next week when I do my review. but I'm going to use those. And then I'm going to also be leaning into Nina over at Shuffle Tarot did a series on a little short video on each of the runes. So I will watch her video for the rune that I draw and kind of give myself those little bits of information this week. So this is going to be more of a study week, as I mentioned, and we will see how everything plays out. I do have a feeling that the Herbcrafter's Tarot is going to be a deck that I reach for when I want to lean into plant medicine or plant energy. So I don't see myself using it for large tarot spreads and things, but we will see. I may try that out this week, and if I do, I will let you know how it plays out. But that is what I'm doing as far as what I'm working with this week. And then I just pulled one of my very first ever reading cloths that Peggy made me to work with this week. It's got this on the front. I love the starburst in the center, and it's got a faux suede on the back, which is kind of like a really dark navy. It's not quite black, but it's close. So I'll be working with this. I just feel like this will work great with the plant and the runes. So that is what we'll be working with. And I will let you guys know how it works out next week. If you have worked with any of these things, or if you have feelings or opinions, I would love to hear them down below. I always get really interesting tips and tidbits from you guys in the comments, and I really appreciate that. And I also love hearing how different things that I'm working with are working for you, what your experiences are like. And as always, if there's anything you see on my channel that you want a more in-depth review on or more of a walkthrough and I haven't done one already, let me know and I will put it in the queue to do as soon as I can. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you all again very soon.